Right, we're now getting into the last bit, doing the ratios. So there's a few ways we could go about doing this. Now, one of the things you've got is information from last year that's summarised for you. So you might want to go through and put in this year's. So current assets, we will need to go to the balance sheet to find current assets. The balance sheet to find current assets, and we'll see current assets 442,000. We'll need to go to, and if you're wondering how to get these two pages on here, you've forgotten, you go to up the top to view, you would go new window and make sure you've got no other spreadsheets open, and then arrange all in vertical. And you can get, I didn't really want to do that. Can I undo? No. Righto. So you do it. So this year they've come the other way. So current assets, balance sheet is current assets. Average net accounts receivables. We'll have to work that out, which would be, I'll leave that for the moment. Net accounts receivable. Well, again, we go to the balance sheet and we've got net receivables. So is 163. So now to work out the average, well, we can see the net account receivables last year plus the net account receivables this year and divide that by 2. And we would notice that this has gone up a fair bit. Inventory. Balance sheet again. Inventory 258,000. Again, we've noticed that has gone up a fair bit. Average inventory, well, we take this year's plus last year's and divide by 2. I need to put brackets around this. Again, you see some patterns that are happening here. How do we work out the average? This year plus last year divided by 2. We have total assets. We have current liabilities. We have total liabilities. I'm not sure why this keeps going away from the balance sheet. And now we have net sales. So net sales revenue. We have net credit sales. This is a little bit harder for us to work out just at the moment. We'll look at that in a bit. Do the easy one. COGS is our cost of goods sold and our profit. So we can see most of these items were pretty easy to work out. So the net credit sales, I can't think of an easy way to work that out at the moment. So let's go on and do some of these other calculations. So current ratio is current assets over current liabilities. That's a pretty easy one to think through. And what would you want this number to be? You'd want it to be bigger than 1. So now this is the money you owe in the short term. These are the things that are likely to turn into cash or could turn into cash in the short term. So you should be able to meet all your short-term liabilities if you're over 1. Inventory turnover. So it's what was the cost of our goods sold. Divide that by average inventory, and would mean we've turned inventory over 4 times a year. Now, for these things to be more meaningful, would be helpful comparing to something. That's when they become really significant. Now, the best thing to compare to would be some type of industry standard. Now, I haven't given you that yet, but I might give it to you somewhere. The other thing you've got to compare is this year to last year. So let's just have a look at how we're going here. Cost of goods sold and average inventory. So we divide cost of goods sold by average inventory, we come up with 3.61. So one thing we notice is that our inventory turnover is falling. We're not turning over our stock as quickly as we were before. Does this mean anything to you? Let's have a look at our current ratio. Current assets last year, this year, current liabilities this year. So divide current assets by current liabilities, and it has improved. So current assets have improved, but our stock is turning over more slowly. Average accounts receivable turnover. So here's one we can calculate for last year, but not for this year. Net credit sales divided by average net accounts receivable. Of course, haven't worked out the net credit sales yet. Days sales and receivable. Average net accounts receivable divided by 1 day's credit sales. So again, this information is in there for you. So this means on average we've got 42 days in receivable. So how do we work out the 1 day's credit sales? Well, we just go the net credit sales. I've taken it from there, could have also taken it from there, divided by 365. The debt ratio is total liabilities over total assets, and the return on rate of return on net sales is our profit divided by our net sales, and this is net sales, not net credit sales, 5.42%. So let's see the items here that we can get in. So average net accounts receivable, average net accounts receivable again. So I could just go there, take the shortcut, but wherever possible it's best to go back to the source. Debt ratio, so total liabilities over total assets. So that's gone up, so our debt has increased, and our profit divided by our net sales. $5.34. So it's fallen marginally. In a business that's growing, let's have a look how our net sales have gone. Our net sales are up substantially. You would in fact expect that our profit as a percentage of net sales would tend to increase, because we should be able to spread out some of the non-variable costs, spread out some of the fixed costs, and this in fact has fallen. So we'll calculate these, and then I'd like you to think about what it means for the business. When you look at these and you look at some of the other things in this business, what does it tell you about this business? What impressions are you getting about this business? So you can make some recommendations of what this business should do. So that's given us a pretty good start on the ratios. There's some other important ratios as well, which we've already calculated. It would be the gross profit percentage. So I might just put that in. Gross profit percentage. Can make that 7. And that is going to be gross profit on sales. So gross profit, gross profit. I haven't put this in here, so we can go gross profit from somewhere else, divided by our sales revenue. I've got this now, 24%. Now I've told you not to cut and paste, but on this area here, because they don't go through to anywhere else, do they? Actually, let's not cut and paste because I put these in the wrong year. Yep. So equals, and you can copy is okay. So 24% last year. You know the sales from last year. Well, we've got the net sales from last year, but you haven't got gross profit from last year, so we can't actually compare that. But this is an important ratio to know. Right, that's given you an outline of the ratios.